All right, and I'm going to go through some basics of EasyReader, but in particular, I'm going to look at PDFs on EasyReader, how to use them in the original PDF form and how to use them in a text-only format as well. We can do that. So I'm just going to swap the camera, and the camera's it's going to move to a camera which is sat over the top of my iPad, and at the moment I have the book share bar on at the side, and it's covering over a book. So you can see in here that you've got a list of different libraries. And at the moment I've got EPUB, Project Gutenberg, RNIB, Bookshare, RNIB Overdrive, and in the future Overdrive will change to RNIB Reading Services, and that one's available in this beta version that I'm running here. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to touch the RNIB Bookshare. Okay, and then that gives me my, I put my password and my login in here, so it automatically takes me into the library itself. And from here, I can download content. Stacey, how many books are in here now, please?
I believe there's just over 338,000.
Okay, so with that type of quantities, then it's going to be a long day to try and surf and find the correct book. So I would recommend that you use the search bar, and you can search, I believe, on the title or the author's name of the book in our app. So if I was to type something like AQA, which would be some past papers at a guess, okay, then it will list all the different ones. If I'd made that AQA physics, it would just pop those up, so it's fairly easy. And you can see the list of the papers here. If you touch the one that you think is concerned, then you'll get a short synopsis of what that is about, who the publisher is, and some more information there. And you can see there's the download. If I touch the download will come in. I won't do it because it's a PDF and they can be quite large, and having done that, the download button will turn into a play button when it actually comes in. I'm just going to close that, and I'm going to go back, all right, and then I'm just going to look in the popular category. So we can see here that many of the new content that's going in is a format called EPUB. So EPUB is what I would think is a more accessible format. And it also has more structure in the heading structure of it as well. I'm going to show you that. So I've got the same book in both PDF and in EPUB. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't get around the PDF, but I'm going to show you the differences. So if there are two options available of the same bit of content, I would suggest you look at the EPUB. However, there may be more images in the PDF. So let's just pop back, and I'll go back to here, and I'm going to touch on my books. And having touched on my books, you can see that I've got the boy with the striped pajamas in PDF form, and underneath it, the boy with the striped pajamas in EPUB form. So what I'll do is I'll open up, touch the EPUB one. So it should open up at the place where I left it, which is chapter 7, and the text is black, the background is white, and the highlighted text at the moment is an orange, and the sentence is a yellow. If I was to touch on the play button at the bottom of the app, which I'll do here.
Chapter 791, page 67. Chapter 7. How mother took credit for something that she hadn't done.
Okay, I'll just stop it. So we can see that we've got that orange highlighting and the yellow text on the sentence, again, white background and black text. If I was to touch on the A button at the top, here I can change the text size, I can change the font, the margins, the line spacing, the letter spacing. And if I wish, I can insert a theme at the background, and there's a selection of them there. Underneath these, I've got the text color, the background color, the sentence color, and the word highlight color. So every aspect of this content can be changed into a different form. And that's the beauty of the RNIB Bookshare. Basically, the book is delivered once and everybody changes the book in the app to suit their sight or their dyslexia or their ADD or their ADHD or the fact that they can't turn the pages of a book, all those being the criteria. There are some shortcuts, and the obvious one would be if you move your fingers apart in the EPUB book, what happens is the text word wraps, so you can do that, and it gets larger, and of course it still stays that. The reading experience is a vertical reading experience, so I move my fingers up the book, and then I can read it like this. If I was to press on the play, then it would move the book up automatically for me, okay? If I touch on a particular element, then it will move the navigation to that spot, and I can start reading from there. And I'll prove that by
occasions Bruno had heard him using those words.
And if you're going to ask the question, which is, can I change the voice? Because I don't like that one. Yes, you can change that, but it depends on the platform. So if you're using Apple, then there are some voices that come with that. If you're using Android, then there are some slightly different voices that come with that. Can I use voiceover in here? Yes, absolutely. 1, 2, 3, whoops. I didn't clear that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so no, I didn't get that right. 1, 2, 3. That's it. So the voiceovers will come on and I can read it. Okay, it's not come on. 1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. So if I wish, go backwards and forwards in the book and read each element.
What did the cat say? Asked Gretel, who was making a sandwich in the corner of the kitchen. What did the cat say? Asked Gretel, who was making a sandwich in the corner of the kitchen. Nothing, explained Bruno. It was a...
And I'll just turn voiceover on. So it's fully accessible with voiceover if you want to use it that way. I'll just turn that off. Now, so if I want to look at the structure of the book, if I tap in the bottom left-hand corner on the headings list there, and then I'll get a full list of all the headings that are in here. And the RNIB books are just superbly navigated here. So we've got a list of all the different chapters that we want to go through. So if I want to jump to chapter 13, The Bottle of Wine, it's as easy as that. It's jumped me straight through to that point. I love the fact that you can search the books in our app. So if it is the AQA paper on physics, it's unlikely you'll want to read it from the top to the bottom. So being able to search for a particular word is really important. So even if it's as short and as common as there, right, it will list all the different instances of that word, and you can jump to that location. You can then insert a bookmark if you wish, and you can also put some text notes in and an audio note here if you wish to go back to that location. Up in the bottom left-hand corner on the headings, and you'll see the third part is bookmarks. So all your bookmarks are listed in this particular area there. So I have a question from Lisa. Am I correct saying the RNB members would be unable to search and download any books in the search field? We were shown at the start of their webinar, their books have to be assigned to them and only sponsors or admin would be able to do this. I wonder if you could help me on that, Stacey.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Lisa. So staff members or sponsors can add their learners, and that would allow learners to have their own login credentials. So a learner can absolutely, or indeed a member, if we're calling them members, can absolutely log on here and search for their title and download it.
Thank you, Stacey. Thank you, Lisa. So there are a couple of the features in here quickly. So if you don't like the voice, then you can change the voice settings are here. So you can change the voice type, and then you can also change the speed. And there's a punctuation announcement. So if it isn't saying a particular word correctly and it's annoying you, then I'll change it there. Yeah, so there's a really good question from Steph, which is, can the book navigation menu be made bigger? Okay, so no, it can't, Steph. Okay, in that the menu itself is being made accessible to use with VoiceOver. However, you can use the device magnification. So I think in Android that's 3 fingers single tap, and in Apple I think it's 3 fingers triple tap. All right, so if you wish, you can turn on the navigation there, and you can use it larger like that. Okay, I'll just turn that off. Whoops, there we go. Yeah,
Steve, mine cut you off there for about 20 seconds. I'm not sure if it did for other people.
Okay, all right. So just in case nobody heard that, can the navigation menu be made bigger? Yes, it can. Not in the app, but you can use the device accessibility features to actually change the size of the text. Okay. But it will work with VoiceOver or TalkBack to actually speak those different elements. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you the same book in a PDF, which is up there. So if I go back to my books, and here's the PDF version of The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, which will open. So this is started a slightly later chapter, chapter 8. So these are available. There's 2 forms of this. Okay, so if I was to enlarge the text in here, I can see that the text doesn't actually word wrap. Okay, so and if I was to press play, if I touch the word little and then press play,
Little Productions. The best part was the fact that
we can see that it isn't tracking where it's actually being spoken at that particular time. There is another element to it, and it's not a vertical experience, it's a page turning experience. So the PDFs actually render themselves slightly differently in the EasyReader app. So, and you have to move it from side to side. You can change the colors here, and you can obviously change the voices and the speed. If that doesn't suit your learner, then if you tap on the sideways ellipse in the top right-hand corner, the first option is switch to text view if you have a PDF. All right, and that starts at the same place that you were in the PDF, and having done that, you can, in fact, it renders like an EPUB book. So you have the best of both worlds, whichever one's going to suit your learner the best. So you can change the size of the text, you can change the colors, all right, and if I make it larger, what I'll do as large as possible, and then press play.
Mother made costumes for Bruno and Gretel.
We can see that the text is always staying, that's being read, it's always staying on the screen view, so people can read along with it, which is the most important part of it for me. So I'll just quickly recap over that. I can go back. So if I touch the ellipse again, I can go back to the original PDF view, and it has started where I left it in the text view, which is on the word Gretel. You can move it if you wish, right? But it's a sideways page view and back to go that way. If I look in the heading structure, there's very little heading structure in there. And that's because RNIB, I presume, Stacey, you've taken the PDFs as people have given them to you and pop them up without any more work. Is that what happens?
Yes, unfortunately, fortunately, unfortunately, because there are so many, you know, we have well over 100 odd thousand PDFs. We're not able to manipulate them to look as pretty as we would always like, or to be as accessible. Some of them are very accessible, but it very much depends on the source file that we get from the publisher.
Best to have them as they are rather than not have them, I think.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
Okay. So this hasn't got any images in this PDF. So what I'll do is I'll open a PDF that has got some images in it. So if I go back to my books, and I'll look at the AQA Psychology for AS PDF, a must read for everybody, I should imagine. They tend to take a little bit longer to open because they're larger books and we're rendering it with more text. And fortunately, EasyReader has just crashed on me, so that's unusual. So let me just try a different PDF. Didn't do that before, little tinker. Yeah, here's a good example. So this particular PDF is actually, it's an image of a book. Okay, so, and it reads side to side. So those are text images that are actually in there. You can see the text doesn't reflow. It does come up. When I increase the size of the text, it stays very much in focus. Again, I can touch a particular part and then it will read from there. Or alternatively, I can switch to the text view and then it will actually, I can use it as I would an EPUB book. It's available for me there. I'll just see if I can open up that other PDF. It was a shame that it didn't open up the first time I tried it. Let's try another one that might be useful. Let's have a look at the illustrated Charles Dickens, which is a PDF. Okay. So here we've got images in the background, but the images is part of the piece of paper. So they have got larger. Okay, so I can make the image larger. So sometimes you can use a combination of between the text view only and the PDF view to suit you. If I take that down and flick that over, I know this is a children's book and you're probably concerned more with graphs and diagrams, but the theory would be really similar. Now, if it doesn't increase in size, then you can use the zoom. So in Apple, that's that 3-finger tap, and in Android, it's a single 3-finger tap that you can use there. So I'll just switch between the text view again in the top left-hand corner. And now I've got that vertical reading experience that I can word wrap it up from there. So I would, if I was you, I think I'd ask the question is, can I sideload a PDF? And the answer is unfortunately no. So the PDF has to come from the RNIB Bookshare to be able to open in EasyReader. And that's it's a licensing thing with the tool that we've used from to open PDFs and change them. Unfortunately, there's a restriction on what we can do. Can I sideload a EPUBs? Yes, you can. And to do that in Apple, I believe you touch the EPUB yourself and then choose to open it into EasyReader. And I believe in Android, we have a separate button in the top right-hand corner, and then you can sideload like a file explorer. You can go and pick the file and it will open up that way. So you have that choice as well. Okay. Stacey, do you think there's a bit that I've missed there I should go over?
No, I think that all sounds great, Steve. I just wanted to add a bit on the question about PDFs. When we were talking about they are as source file. What we accept is web-ready PDFs, I should have mentioned, so they will always be readable with text-to-speech. We wouldn't accept a printer's PDF or one that is just a photographed PDF. So it will always be web-ready, which means it has been OCR'd and will be readable with text-to-speech.
Oh, excellent point. Okay. So what I'll try to do is just see if I can open up that other PDF that didn't go very well earlier. Let me just try it again. Let's try it. Oh no, and that's not it. That's Pride and Prejudice. I got the wrong button again. So I don't think that's a PDF. I did touch the right key this time. Here we go. So this is the AQA Psychology for AS PDF. Just let it come up. Some of these are really large. So this one has, no, sorry, my app for some reason is playing up. I think it's because I'm running a beta. You'll have to excuse me. What I wanted to show you is that I can actually increase the size of the diagrams and the text there, but it wouldn't word wrap. Okay, I'd have to, and when I went into switch to the text mode, it would actually only give you the text which was there and not the diagram which was available. So there's a combination of those different aspects that you can use. Let me just go back into my books, okay, and then let's go back to the Boy in Striped Pajamas PDF, which has opened successfully. There are, some of the books are actually, and EPUBs actually have a page numbers, and that would be available in the book navigation. If you tap bottom left-hand corner, and then you go to page numbers, and you can see the page numbers are listed there, and you can navigate to a particular page, which is useful if somebody's reading along with this. Okay, so you can jump around by page number if needed. Okay. And then lastly, just quickly in the A button here, okay, I did my zooming by moving my fingers apart, but of course I can change the zoom actually in the app at that particular part under the A button there as well. So does anybody have any more questions, aspects that they'd like me to cover, or questions for Stacey? If you press Alt and H, it will pop up the chat window, and then you can type your questions in there. Or if you take your mouse to the bottom left-hand corner of the Zoom window, you'll see chat, and then you can pop that in there as well. Okay. Stacey, well, we're just waiting for those. Stacey, how many books are you guys getting from the publishers each week?
Oh, a significant amount. To give you an idea, this time last year, we had, I think we had about 115,000 titles. And today we have nearly 339,000 titles. So we actually have queues of books waiting because the system can't handle the number of books that are coming through. So yeah, there's never a gap. There's never a second in the day where there isn't a book being uploaded. And it's really fantastic to see the way that publishers have engaged with the service now. So we hope to be seeing even more of those, more books. The title count you can see live on the RNIB Bookshare homepage, and you can watch it climb.
Okay.
We have a question from Lisa.
We do. Are you able to copy sections of the text and paste it into another app on the iPad if the student wanted to insert a quote from EasyReader? Yes, you can. So if I put my finger on the app, okay, so not in the PDF, I think. Let me just have a look. No, you can't. So if I did it in the text view, cancel. Yes, you can do it in the text view, or you can do it in the EPUB. So my fingers are not too subtle on there, so I can copy if I wish, and it's copied that into, I'll just get rid of that. All right, it's popped up some productivity gesture that Apple's decided to pop up now, unfortunately. All right, so let me just see if I can get rid of that. Okay, go away. So yes, you can do that. If you want to, okay, you could pop into now. If you go to clipboard text from the book menu, and if I click on the plus button here, I'll find that what I've just copied is available in there, and I can copy from anywhere on the tablet, and it will be available in here if you wish. Okay, so and that will read. Okay, so
like stories about knights and defenders,
and it will bring over the structure of the. Just make sure that that focuses properly. I see I've lost the focus. Okay, just 1 second. That's it. So I've pasted in there. So if I was in Safari, for example, and I wanted to copy something in there, I could read it in the EasyReader clipboard text, but yes, you can move it across if you wish as well. So is there what have you agreed with the publishers as far as that's concerned, Stacey? That's fine? Or is there nothing written down?
Sorry, in terms of what, Steve?
In copying a few lines of text.
Oh no, that's absolutely fine. I mean, that would be the way that a student would reference it anyway if they were looking at a printed book. You know, as long as if they were referencing properly the you know, which book it came from, etc., that would be absolutely fine. Okay,
perfect. Just gone back to the book, and I'll do a little bit more. So I'll copy a larger section. Oops, cancel. Let's go to the text view. There we go. I'm terrible at copying this in on the Apple device. I just don't seem to be able to get it to copy for me. There we go. And now copy back into clipboard text plus, and that's available there to read.
Some of that's actually in a way easier if you're using assistive tech as well. So if you're a voiceover user and you're trying to copy, rather than trying to keep your finger steady on where you need to be, you would use the rotor settings, which actually makes it a lot easier for someone using the assistive tech side of things than actually anyone else.
It's certainly easier than I've just given the example of, that's for sure. So yes, so if I tap 3 fingers, 1, 2, 3, and turn my voiceover on, I pursue, here we go. If I do the
EasyReader.
Okay, so I've not turned my rotor on, unfortunately, but
Chapter 9,
yeah, that's so you move your fingers and twisting them around, don't you, on there to get the rotor up, I believe.
Yeah, so sort of 2 fingers as if you were turning like a radio dial.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Okay, I think that's almost everything that we wanted to go through. So I'll just run through it with voiceover so we can. Okay, and it's reading through. It's reading through the different aspects there with voiceover. So my email address is steve.bennett. I'm N-T Bennett, if you wish to, and that's at yourdolphin.com. I'll repeat, steve.bennett@yourdolphin.com. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have now or later. And Stacey, you're stacey.scott@rnib.org.uk.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, and I got that wrong the last time because you got married recently. So,
I did, yeah.
Yes, okay. All
So
right.
no one can find me now.
Brilliant. Okay, so just a couple of minutes short, then we'll finish there. So what I'll do is I'll email everybody the link to the video so that you can share it with others if you wish, and we'd love to hear from you if you have any questions. Oh, there's something I've forgotten and I've just remembered it. Everybody always asks me why the app is free. All right. And I'll just say the app is free. It will always be free. And the app is free because it's a great way of Dolphin being able to get the brand name out there. It's much cheaper than the equivalent spend on Facebook and other social media. So there is a good commercial reason for making this available, as well as a good moral one as well. Okay. All right. So thank you everybody for your time. All right. And I look forward to speaking to you again. All right. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Cheers then. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.